cool. And I'm just going to repost this again on my channel. Just post.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I hope I'm Sam Redd, and this is Red Carpet Talk. Today, I'm lucky to be joined by Evasive. Evasive, say hi to everyone.
Go. I'm going to switch to my. Sorry, I did not think that through. Where is my there?
Okay, everybody, give us a second.
Let's do this. All right,
can you hear me now? Okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just basically saying my name. This is Red Carpet, and then today I'm joined by Evasive, and I was just saying to say hi to everyone. Evasive and I will share thoughts on May to August releases, and we're going to go cover the major blockbusters, but also talk about some smaller indies and international films as well. So we're going to start with May. Some of these releases have already happened.
Absolutely. So I don't like, there's a lot of movies I'll see a lot of the top movies or movies that I'm interested in, but you know, I don't even live near a movie theater. The nearest movie theater to me is like 35-40 minutes away. So I only go out and see movies that I'm actually interested in, or if someone invites me to go see them.
Well, that's why I wanted your perspective, since I'm someone who's like super into the zeitgeist and I know like a lot of stuff coming out, and I wanted to hear like someone who, since most people, to be fair, there's a lot of casual moviegoers, they don't see everything that's out, and it's like I wanted to see what is already on your radar, what's not on your radar that maybe you hear about today that interests you. And same with the chat as well. So,
absolutely.
We'll start with May. Again, some of these movies have already came out. So May 1st, I mean, the biggest release was Devil Wears Prada 2. And that was a movie, the original one, I didn't realize was like number 12 on the box office at the time in 2006, which is really impressive, like worldwide, since most movies.
Real quick, hi in the chat to Christian Unpronounceable and Jeremy Miller. Hello, thank you for listening to us ramble. I already saw Devil Wears Prada 2. I rewatched the first one the same day. Like I watched the first one and then left right from there to go to the theater and watch the second one. And I think that made it a lot worse because comparing them like one right after the other, it's so obvious how much better the first movie was. I think that it relied a lot on nostalgia and relied a lot on people not having seen the original movie for a long time. I think that if you hadn't watched it in a long time, you might have liked it more. But the fact I watched them both in the same day, it was like, oh, this is not nearly as good. This is like, I could get into, we're supposed to talk about movies that haven't come out yet, but that movie was so overstuffed with celebrities. I feel like it was too many new characters. Like, why were there, 2 new assistants and an intern and, 50 celebrity cameos? It felt like a movie where they got all these people to agree to be in it and then didn't know what to do with them all. Which, like, that'd be, if I was famous and someone was like, hey, you want to be in Devil Wears Prada 2? Absolutely, I'd say yes,
Yeah.
Just not the title alone.
I went more in depth on that in my previous live stream a couple weeks ago. And so you hear a lot of my thoughts there. And but what I will say is it's definitely a weaker screenplay than the first movie. And that was very obvious to me. But it did start off the summer blockbuster like really well. And like it is like it's beating like Mortal Kombat 2 at the box office right now, which is crazy when you think about it. But like if you compare it to the 2006 version, which again was number 12 worldwide that year for a female-led movie at the time, like that's pretty impressive. So it kind of makes sense that it's doing well at the box office, surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean it's Devil Wears Prada. It was a sequel that people wanted since the first one came out. It took them 20 years to make a sequel. Like, I think that the title alone was enough to sell it, and it didn't matter the quality of the film itself. And there's plenty of examples of that every single year of movies where it's like,
For
hey,
sure.
I mean, that's how YouTube works, you know? The title and the title and your thumbnail is the most important thing to get people to watch, you know? You're not trying to sell them on like a new idea. You're just trying to get the movie out the door.
Yeah, which is why so much of the summer blockbuster is dominated by like big IP or franchises. IP meaning intellectual property, if you're not familiar with that term. I mean, these other May 1st releases, Deep Water was like a shark movie. Hokum was a horror movie. Horror movies tend to do good, but there is a lot more horror movies coming out this year than usual. And I saw Hokum, but and then Animal Farm, Andy Serkis's Animal Farm. I don't know what's going on with that. I heard a lot of people saying some questionable things about the movie, saying like, does he even get the point of the book? And then this random title at the end for the May 1st releases, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the movie. I don't even know what that is.
Is that an anime? That's gotta be anime, right?
Yeah, I was thinking that. But yeah, I'm like, feel free to interrupt me and tell me if you're familiar with any of these titles or like if you've seen any of them.
I mean, I want to watch Animal Farm later when it's like streaming, just to see like how badly they screwed it up. Like,
I figured you would be interested in that, and then also
their first mistake
movie.
Like apparently, as far as I can tell, they took Animal Farm, famous book that's an allegory for Marxism and communism, and turned it into in school, like in middle school.
Yeah, I did as well.
And like it seems like they took that and stripped away all of the adult aspects of it and tried to make it like a kids movie. And it's like, if you're going to do that, then don't call it Animal Farm, because that completely destroys the like the original concept. It's like, just call it something else.
When I saw the trailer with like Seth Rogen, I was like, I can't take this seriously with Seth Rogen's voice. Ironically, Seth Rogen has another movie coming out this summer that we'll mention later that seems like a more dramatic role from him. So I can take him seriously as an actor, but it was just weird hearing his voice in animated form, since I recognize him instantly, and just being like, this is Animal Farm. It with like Aman Vellani and like all these other like stars in the cast. It's just like, I can't.
Yeah, I don't understand why that movie exists, because even on paper, that's a terrible idea. And I can't imagine it's gotta be, it's not, is it bombing? I feel like it must be bombing. Yeah.
Angel Studio movies sometimes do really well, that audience, but you never know.
Yeah. So far it's made $5 million off a $35 million budget. So
oof. May 8th, I mean, we're going to go into another animal movie, Sheep Detectives. I've been hearing a lot of surprisingly good things about it. I haven't checked it out yet. I don't know if you heard of it. It's Hugh Jackman movie.
Yeah, all I know is that Hugh Jackman's in it, but I have not I have not
people crying. People are like, I'm tearing up during this movie. I'm like, really?
Yeah, it's a part of it also is just like, I'm so out of the loop on new movies a lot of the time that a lot of times I don't hear about these new movies until they come out. Yeah, that one's Hugh Jackman, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Emma Thompson, and Nicholas Braun, the guy from
the cast is
from Succession, and Bryan Cranston. And okay, all right.
So that seems to be the more popular of the animal movies this May. So Animal Farm seems the loss. And
the animals talk. Patrick Stewart voices an animal. Regina Hall voices an animal. Bella Ramsey voices. Oh, that's so
exactly
cute.
That one seems to have worked and won the May box office more than Animal Farm did. Some other like May 8th You got the Billie Eilish concert movie. I can't take concert movies as seriously anymore after I watched the Charlie XCX mockumentary. So now it's like hard for me to take concert movies seriously after that. But it's
concert movies are, I mean, it's a concert. It's
exactly. And then
it's a movie, but it's really just go see a concert in a theater.
And then you got some of these like indie films like Silent Friend with Tony Leung, Python Hunt, and Blue Film, which I hear is like a crazy concept, Blue Film, and I'm gonna check it out eventually. I mean, movies can be expensive, so I haven't checked it out yet. I'm waiting for it to be on streaming. But Mortal Kombat is the only one of these May 8th releases that I have seen, and I had a lot of fun with that movie. You were talking earlier of like sometimes you just need a big title and people will recognize the franchise. And like for me,
I haven't seen any Mortal Kombat movies before actually, but I want to do
it either going into this. And then I checked out the 2021 movie since I knew I was most likely going to go to an early screening for this one, and it's way better than the 2021 movie. And I had a lot of fun with it.
At some point I want to do a video where I watch every video game movie from the 90s. And
oh yeah, that'd be fun. There's so many bad ones.
Yeah, like notoriously the original Mortal Kombat 2 from 1997 is like considered one of the most like hilariously bad movies ever made. Like the top review for Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat Annihilation from the 90s, the top review says this is by the absolute loosest human understanding of the word a movie. And that's the kind of stuff I want to, I'm glad that the new Mortal Kombat 2 is not bad, but I'm very curious to watch the 90s one. And I've just always heard how like,
I really wanted to squeeze in time to watch those two before the new one. And I didn't get the time to watch all three of the previous movies. So to
Christian Unpronounceable in the chat, you and your friend are finally seeing Mortal Kombat 2 on Monday. You saw the original movie in the theater. If I get around to making like every video game movie from like every decade, like I'd start with the 90s, then the 2000s, and the 2010s, like do a video on each one. So eventually, in theory, I would reach the newer Mortal Kombat movies. It would just be like years from now when Mortal Kombat 3 is coming out, I guess.
There's a lot of video game adaptations coming out this year. It's really
video game movies are the new superhero movies. Superhero movies are they still make money, but they're not what they used to be 10 years ago.
I would also say anime as well. Like those anime movies where it's like the show has come out and they're going to do a movie as like a grand finale or something like that. Like that's also popular right now.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing that for a long time, but most of them only ever came out in theaters in Japan. It's only in more recent years where like you get a lot more anime movies in America. But that's been really common in Japan for a long time. But video game movies are the new hot thing. They're the new superhero.
You're definitely I think that video is going to do well if you do end up doing it eventually. And I will say you're definitely more well-versed on anime than I am. I remember, I think we watched Tokyo Godfathers together.
Yeah, you were there for that. Yeah, that was I forget when that was, but that movie is fantastic. I watched it on my live stream. I've watched like every Christmas the past like few years.
Yeah, I know you like that as a Christmas movie.
Jeremy in the chat said you've been really wanting to see Exit 8. I actually did see Exit 8.
Me too.
That's another new release. I didn't play the game beforehand. I feel like if you played the game before, then the movie would be kind of boring because the movie is mostly just someone playing the game.
It is a kind of boring movie though. Even if you aren't familiar with the game, I feel like the pacing after a while, it's like, okay, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you have a film that takes place all in one location. Basically, it's kind of hard to do a lot with that.
Some of the best movies of all time managed to make that not boring somehow. And like 12 Angry Men, for instance. When a movie manages to pull it out, it's impressive.
My favorite example of that is this one called The Exterminating Angel from from 1962 by Louise Buñuel. And that's a film where it's a bunch of rich people who are having a dinner party, and then all of a sudden some supernatural force prevents them from leaving the room. And they start fighting with each other. They start trying to break down like through the walls. Maybe they can get past the invisible wall. Like if they burrow through the floor, if they burrow through the wall, they start like, eating the furniture. They try to like lure the dog into the room so they can kill and eat the dog. Like it goes from like, it's like a metaphor for like, rich people only caring about themselves, but it's a fantastic film from the 60s. That's a great example of a film that all takes place in one room, because literally they can't leave the room. There's an invisible barrier preventing them from leaving the room. Given
that director, it sounds like it's a surrealist movie.
Yeah, it's on Letterboxd. It's like one of the highest rated. It's like the 400th highest rated movie or something. And okay. It's one of my favorites of
Interesting.
The 60s, because it's so ahead of its time.
Okay, we'll continue to other May releases. We have stuff that's coming out this weekend. Is God Is, I'm really excited for. That trailer looks amazing. The two girls, and the father is problematic, and he's played by Sterling K. Brown, and he does them wrong, and he does the mom, played by Vivica Fox, wrong. And they're basically trying to get revenge. And I've been hearing great things about this movie. I'm excited to check it out. I just had a busy screening week, and I was watching too many movies. One of the movies I watched this week is also coming out this weekend. I watched Obsession earlier this week, which I really dug. I'm a horror fan. I don't know if you are. I watched Magic Hour, which is also on this list. And then but yeah, it's a very packed time of year, and I feel bad. I feel like that movie's not going to do good as God Is, unfortunately, because there's way too much coming out right now, and it's unfortunately going to get lost in the shuffle, which is a shame. But like, I definitely want to watch it. Busy times. But In the Gray also stands out. Wait, sorry.
I think that movie, part of its problem is that the title doesn't tell us anything about what the movie is about. Like when I first saw the title, I thought it was like a Christian movie.
Me too. That was my reaction when I first found out about it as well. I was thinking the same. And then when I saw the first trailer, I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "This trailer looks awesome. This is like a Tarantino movie, but like with like Vivica A. Fox. I mean, she's in Tarantino, but then Sterling K. Brown and like Janelle Monáe, and I'm like, and then these two unknowns that I'm not familiar with. I was just like, this looks awesome. But yeah, I'm like, and then I think In the Gray is the Guy Ritchie movie, and then Wizard of the Kremlin I think is the Jude Law Putin movie, and yeah, I'm like, I feel like Obsession is probably going to be the big movie this weekend, since horror does well at the box office a lot of the times, and it's a very buzzy horror movie. So,
yeah, I like horror, but most of the time, most of the horror movies I watch are like, if someone takes me to a new one, someone's like, "Hey, I want to go see this," then I'll go see that. But for the most part, I pick my horror movies based on like whatever's the highest rated on Letterboxd.
Well, Obsession is probably going to be super high rated.
Oh yeah, no, the reviews so far are just like, I mean, it's already like, the review spread is like, there's so many 5-star reviews. So I am really interested in that one, just because like people are saying such good things about it.
Going into like stuff that's coming out in the future, we got another horror movie, Passenger, that's buzzy. I keep hearing people talk about it. I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I'm hearing people are excited for it. And then what else? Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm a Star Wars fan. I feel like I keep hearing people who are saying they're not hyped for this thing at all. And I can't tell if it's just the hardcore fans or if it's the same with the casual fans as well.
Well, first of all, you kind of feel like for me, I feel like I can't watch it because I only ever saw like I saw the first 2 seasons of the show. I just forgot to watch past that.
You don't need to watch the third.
That's his. People are saying like, no, this is like a standalone thing, but then it's also like, but you can see why you would think that.
Yeah,
like all the reviews are like, this is basically like a long filler episode of the show.
Yep, that's what I've been hearing as well.
Okay, my question is, why did they put this in theaters and not? Because I've been saying for years, the Obi-Wan miniseries they did on Disney, if they had put that out in theaters, they'd cut out like half of the bullshit in that miniseries and put it out in theaters and call it like Star Wars Episode 3.5. It would have made billions of dollars. I feel like it was such a waste.
Great point that I've never heard. Maybe people have said it before, but I've never heard it myself.
That miniseries, like especially the fight scenes between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, like that was the stuff people wanted for decades, and then they just stuck it on Disney Plus, and a lot of people never saw it, especially because you had to get through this like long slog of episodes where he's just running around. I mean, it's like mostly one really long episode where he runs around with baby Princess Leia, who's this like terrible child actress, and it's like you could have cut like half of this and it would have been a fantastic Star Wars movie. I'm just like, Disney does not know what to do with the Star Wars property. Like they hit things on, like the first season of Mandalorian was a huge hit. They do certain things that are like, everyone loves the Star Wars world at Disney. Certain things they do great, and the other things it's like, even on paper, this is a bad idea. Like, why did no one, like this Mandalorian movie is not going to do well in theaters because people are going to think like, oh, well, I haven't watched the show, or I'm not caught up on the show, so I can't watch this movie. It's just baffling to me. It's like they have, or like Andor, for example. I heard Andor is great.
It is. I can confirm.
I haven't seen it yet because I was so burned on the way they handled Obi-Wan and then the Boba Fett miniseries. It's just like,
I know, it's a shame. It's like stuff like Andor came too late, unfortunately, and it's like that's like a serious prestige like television show where it's like tackling like real societal issues, and it's like the last like 5 episodes, in my opinion, the writing is so brilliant, and it's just like great episode after great episode. But so many people I talk to like on a day-to-day basis are like, I haven't checked it out at all, but they've seen the movies. It's like they're really botching things right now, Disney.
Yeah, and it's like you would think Star Wars is a franchise. It seems so easy to me as just a casual observer, like what they would have to do to make people happy, and they're just like either not doing it, or when they're doing it, they're handling it wrong. They're not marketing it correctly. They are so out of touch with what people want. Like this Mandalorian movie, this would have hit 5 years ago when that was a brand new thing, but now everyone knows what Baby Yoda is. The Baby Yoda toys are not selling what they did in like 2019.
But also, people who don't know the show don't realize Baby Yoda's name is Grogu.
Yeah, like it's could have just called it Mandalorian. The Mandalorian, just call it The Mandalorian, the film. Like it's not. It's.
So that's definitely the biggest, most high-profile movie that's coming out next week. But I don't know if that's going to do as good as like previous Star Wars films. I'm like very curious if it's what it's going to be box office wise. I have no clue if it's going to be good or not box office wise. In regards to like some smaller stuff, I saw I Love Boosters a couple days ago. I love bold, ambitious filmmaking like that. I really cannot emphasize enough. I hope people give it a chance. I hope people check it out at some point because it's so important to support filmmaking like that. When there's just so much to say about that movie, and that I can't really say too much yet until like people see it. But like it just. I did like a short review, and I tried to say as much as I could in a minute, and I feel like I did it pretty concisely. So you can check out that short review that I did recently if you're interested in seeing like what the movie is about and like what it's good at and some of the stuff going on it's some of its strengths, but I cannot recommend that movie enough. It is going to be weird for people, but it's like it's so important that we have movies like that. So I can't champion that movie enough. And then Tuner I'm gonna see tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that movie. It seems like an interesting concept, like a guy. Like it seems like there's good sound design and stuff in it. And so I'm gonna check that one out tomorrow. So I can't talk too much on it until I see it tomorrow. But it's Leo Woodall, who I guess people probably most know from White Lotus season 2 in a thriller with an interesting concept. But yeah, I feel like those two movies are going to get drowned by Mandalorian, unfortunately. But like, it seems like those two might be the better movies over Mandalorian, honestly.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I saw Boots Riley's first film, Sorry to Bother You.
Yep, it's more crazy than that.
I watched that with my family because my parents put on and was like, "Oh, this looks funny," not expecting the ending at all. I remember my mom's reaction was just like she was completely shocked by like where the movie went.
It's so crazy, that movie, and I heard going into this movie that I Love Boosters manages to be crazier than Sorry to Bother You, and I'm like, really? How? And then I checked it out the other day, like, and then I was like, it still went places that I wasn't predicting it to. So even though I went in being like, this is going to be an unpredictable movie, and it somehow topped Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, which I thought was already going to be the craziest movie of the year. And I'm like, I think this might top that, which is pretty impressive since that's another crazy concept this year.
Yeah. I'm really interested in Boots Riley's next film. I don't know if you've looked this up, but his next film is called Mr. Burns. And the plot is shortly after an unspecified apocalypse, 6 survivors gather at a campfire. To distract themselves from mourning, they attempt to recount the episode Cape Fear from The Simpsons. It's what? Like the concept.
I'm gonna check anything. I know that concept you just said sounds completely crazy to me. I'm gonna check anything he does after this, and Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah, apparently this movie is gonna be about like the ways that people like that history is passed down over time and the ways that like stories change. Because apparently the plot is like these people describe and talk about a story, not realizing that this story was an episode of The Simpsons. You know, it just sounds like such a goofy idea for a movie.
That kind of sounds like Allegory of the Cave a little bit, but yeah, like a parody version of that. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's such a crazy idea for a movie. It was based off a play. It's based off like an off.
That guy is a genius. I'm telling you. After it, I like he's making me just question reality completely with I Love Boosters, and now I'm like looking at items, everyday items, and I'm like, oh, like this, that, like based on stuff that happens in the movie. And I'm like, it's like he's making me just question everything right now.
Technically, I Love Boosters is his second film, right? Because he had a series, he had a mini series on Amazon, I know. But technically, this is his second film.
I'm so excited for people to check it out, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was like, this is unlike anything I've ever seen before, and I'm like, we need more of that in the world, honestly. I guess unless you have anything else to say, we should probably.
No, I will be seeing that and not Mandalorian. Like
honestly, if you had to choose between those two, I love Star Wars and I love.
Yeah, I mean, I know Mandalorian.
Don't get me wrong, but I Love Boosters is the one. Yeah,
Mandalorian's gonna be on Disney Plus in like
true
by the end of the summer anyway. So it's
very true. Yeah, May 28th is just a rom-com with Anjali Rice, I think, called Finding Emily. Anjali Rice was the daughter in Nice Guys. She's the lead in the Mean Girls musical, and then she's Betty from the Spider-Man movies, who's like Ned's girlfriend for one of the movies. I don't know anything about it besides it's her and it's a rom-com, really. So we can just move on to, I think, June, which is on the next page if you're cool with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, actually, we still have a couple more. Not a couple more. We have some more May releases. Pressure, which is a Brendan Fraser movie. I think it's a World War II movie where he's a meteorologist. I'm kind of confused about this movie. The more just hearing that concept, I'm like, what? I'm like, what's there's a story there? I'm like, huh? I'm like, okay. Brendan Fraser's really trying, and it's not working post Whale, but at least he has the Oscar for the Whale. But
yeah, that's what he really wanted.
Yeah.
Wait, which movie did you say that was? The
Pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah, that comes out May 29th. I keep hearing about it, and I'm like, huh?
Another World War II movie?
I know.
Okay. That's not gonna do anything. Like,
no, I think Backrooms will be the bigger release, even though it is a A24 movie. It is like those types of videos do well on YouTube. I'm not familiar with them. And then you have like an interesting cast with like Renata Reinsve coming off of Sentimental Value. So I think that will probably be the bigger movie that weekend. And then there's some like smaller movies. I like The Breadwinner. I don't care about that Shark Tank movie. Yeah.
No, what is that last movie on the list?
I know. I keep hearing about Fuck Toys, and I'm just like, what even is that? I heard about like an awful Q&A for it, but I don't know the actual movie, what it's about.
The description says a cursed young woman sets out on a wild fundraising adventure through Trash Town, USA after she's told by multiple psychics that she could break the curse by paying them $1,000. All right, so this just looks like some weirdo shit. Some weirdo indie film. There's so many weirdo indie films every year, but directed by a woman in her directorial debut, so shout out her.
If there's only like one of these May releases that you could watch and you can't watch any of the rest, what would your choice be? I need to go back to figure out mine.
I'm gonna see Boosters, just because Boots Riley, like it's just such like only made one other movie so far. It's been almost
that's fair
8 years, and with this cast, like I gotta see this.
It's so tough because again, before I saw I Love Boosters, I think my answer, I don't know if it would have been Obsession. It's tough because I think it would be between Obsession, since I was hearing so much buzz for that, and then I Love Boosters because I did like Sorry to Bother You a lot, but then I also like, I know it's stupid, but I also like, I like the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, so it's like, but the tuner, I don't know what would my number one have most anticipated going in. It will be easier the other months because I won't have already seen the movies, but like, I don't know if I Love Boosters would have been my number one, or if I'm saying that's my number one because I've seen it already. But I did really like Sorry to Bother You, to be fair. So I might have honestly have said that honestly as my answer. But moving on to June, you might know about this more than me. I'm not as familiar, but I keep hearing Amazing Digital Circus is huge on YouTube right now. Have you checked it out at all?
So I've only watched the first 2 episodes, but I'm going to binge watch it before I go see, because I already got tickets to see the finale. So if you aren't aware, it was an animated series created by a trans woman. There is literally only like 7 episodes, with 1 episode coming out every like 6 months. Like it's kind of insane that it got this much publicity when it's literally, there's only like 7 episodes. Like it's short, and it's mostly the work of one trans woman. And I saw these tweets that were like, she's still not done. She is still not done with the finale. She made a tweet that was like, yeah, I've been working every day from like 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. just nonstop to hit this deadline. So I hope for her sake, when this comes out, that she like takes the entire summer off, because I feel for her. That's insane.
That is a lot, but it's cool to see that kind of success as well.
Yeah, it's okay. There's 8 episodes so far, and this finale is episode 9.
Okay, wow.
That much hype and that much I just think it's so crazy to me that you can build up that big of a fan base off of so little content.
I know a lot of people who are scrambling to get tickets and like who are like, my theater isn't showing it, but I'm want my theater to show it, and then they manage to like enough people managed to like contact the theater about getting that movie for their theater that they pulled it off and managed to get the movie at their theater.
Yeah, well,
so I think this is going to be a surprise hit.
Part of it also is that it's not technically it's not a film, it's the last episode of a show.
Yeah, that's been happening a lot lately.
Which like, hey,
honestly,
like I'm cool with that.
That might do better at the box office than some of these other movies for June. Like Masters of the Universe, I don't know if it hits with like the younger generation who is technically the prime movie going audience as much as like the Amazing Digital Circus is. Yeah. I do think I'm not saying there isn't a fan base for He-Man. He-Man is a huge fan base, but it is, I think, a generational thing. And it's like with movie going, I feel like
hello to Sam in the chat. Yeah, shout out to Gooseworks. And I'm so happy for her, but also I do not envy her work schedule.
Yeah. I think this is going to honestly do better. It has the same market that movies like FNAF or Minecraft managed to get into the theater and to be box office hits. And I think Minecraft made even $1 billion. I'm not saying this is going to make $1 billion the way Minecraft did, but like you honestly, that's probably it's going to get that crowd in a way that I don't think the Masters of the Universe movie is going to.
One of the biggest things is that Amazing Digital Circus was released for free on YouTube. A lot of like The Mandalorian, you had to have Disney Plus, and there's a lot of like lower income families that they don't have any streaming services. Period. You know, they have YouTube, and part of why Amazing Digital Circus did so well is because it was released for free on YouTube, so anybody could watch it. You didn't need a streaming service. So that'll probably do numbers. I'm excited to see what she does after this, after she takes like a solid like 5 or 6 months off. I hope that she makes a lot of money off of this because clearly she's worked very, very hard on it.
So yeah, we got Amazing Digital Circus, and then the same weekend, Masters of the Universe, Power Ballad, which is a John Carney movie, who's the director of Sing Street and other like delightful music-driven movies. This one has more stars than usual since you have Nick Jonas and Paul Rudd leading it. And when I heard that, I was nervous at first, but the trailer, I'm like, it might still be that like John Carney charm that we all appreciate.
Yeah. Sing Street is one of my favorite movies, just period. I love that movie so much. He knows how to make a good musical comedy.
Well, the thing with Sing Street is he collaborated with this guy named Gary Clark, and Gary Clark worked with him on this smaller movie called Flora and Son afterwards, and then a TV show for Prime Video called Modern Love. And once again, for Power Ballad, they're working together. So, and Sing Street has like one of the best soundtracks of all time. So it's
it's been like 10 years, and I'm still mad that it wasn't nominated for Best Original Score.
I was so pissed.
Hollywood, what do you? I mean, this is the same year that they announced the wrong winner for Best Picture, so you're asleep at the wheel.
Honestly, the Oscars are always a joke when it comes to like their score nominations. It's literally like it's never actually the best scores of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But yeah, even songs sometimes, like again with Sing Street, they missed. So yeah, you have Power Ballad coming out. I'm trying to think what else of these movies I've heard of. Caroline, I hear it's like a modern Bonnie and Clyde with Samara Weaving, and then I think Kyle Gallner is his name. I forgot. He's like in Smile and Jennifer's Body, and he's in a lot of movies, and he's a chameleon. But I'm hearing it's like a modern Bonnie and Clyde. And then Scary Movie 6 is also probably going to do well. I think it's going to be a battle between Amazing Digital Circus and Scary Movie 6, honestly, for number one.
I will see Scary Movie 6 if the reviews say it's funny. If not, I won't see it.
Did you see the trailer yet? Or no?
Yeah, and I mean they had a pronoun joke in like the first beginning of the trailer, and it's like, all right, if that's what you're leading with, I'm scared, and not in a good way.
Yeah, I'm hearing mixed things. Some people, the first trailer worked, and then some people, the Joker's referring to specifically, like turned them off, and they're like, I don't know.
I'm also just like, I'm just impressed that they got like there's references to movies that came out as recently as like last August. Like there's references,
yeah, like weapons,
and it's like, did you write this movie in like 1 month? Like, how did you do this?
I know. I had the same reaction with that. They have some recent references, like Longlegs and The Substance showing up in that trailer.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just interesting to me because it's like there were so many big profile horror movies that came out since Scary Movie 5. What year was that? 2013. There's been so many big profile horror movies, but they're choosing to make jokes about like some of the most recent ones. It's like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just what they put the trailer with, but maybe there's like, it's full of references to like horror movies that came out in the last 10 years. But
I'm gonna continue to more June movies. De Gaulle Tilting Iron. I'm gonna be honest, I only heard about this since I was looking at the Cannes lineup, and I saw that there was this movie about Charles de Gaulle, who's a famous figure in French history, and I saw that there was a part 1 and a part 2. So that's what this is.
That's not even going to be in theaters in America. That's like such a nothing. Like that's a French film.
And then the big release of that weekend, June 12th, is Disclosure Day, Spielberg's new movie. Is this working for you or no?
Yeah, no, I am very like, Spielberg hasn't made an alien movie since
War of the Worlds.
Yeah, which people didn't like. So the fact that he's like, and you know, Spielberg is so old that potentially any movie could be his last film. It kind of felt
like trying to make a Western.
It kind of felt like he went into The Fabelmans thinking that would be his last film. The Fabelmans had such an air of like finality to it, of like the end of a career. I love that there's people on the internet who are legitimately like, oh, Steven Spielberg knows something that we don't about aliens. And it's like, no, I think you're being a little bit crazy. There's people, if you go to the trailer for Disclosure Day and you read the comments, there's a bunch of people that are like, Spielberg knows something. Like this movie is gonna, this like, there's people who actually think like this movie is going to be like the actual like disclosure of the existence of aliens. And it's like,
that's why there's a lot of mystery behind this movie, is that, but then there's also the mystery of, is this a secret sequel to Close Encounters? And then I keep hearing, I'm like, ooh, there's something interesting in the third act that they've been able to avoid in all the trailers. And like Spielberg explicitly like stated that he didn't want it in any of the trailers. So I'm like, what is going on with this movie? I'm excited for it. I'm in the minority of people who thinks he's still making great movies and would put West Side Story in my top 5 Spielberg movies. Honestly.
Oh, wow. I mean, I like The Fabelmans. Like, just to get to see, it's just so fascinating to me to see someone and a director's so famous that he can make an entire movie about his own childhood. Like, mind-blowing to me personally. But yeah, I do want to see this.
Yeah,
I do
that
really
might
want to see
be
this.
so far of all the releases. I think that might be especially the more I'm talking about it, like all the mystery and the mystique behind it. I'm like, there's a lot of questions with this one where it's like there's ones I'm excited for, but there's like not questions of like I want to know what's the deal with that. So I also just think it's a solid cast. There's Coleman Domingo, Josh O'Connor, Emily Blunt, Bono's daughter, Eve Houston is her name. We're mentioning John Carney movies earlier. I was introduced to her in this smaller John Carney movie called Flora and Son. And then I didn't even know she was Bono's kid. And I was just like, she's really good in this. And so I'm excited for more people to discover her. And then she was in Jay Kelly too, but like I don't know if a ton of people honestly checked out Jay Kelly, to be honest.
I didn't. I know about it.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person. I'm too busy watching movies from 100 years ago. Like,
yeah,
literally. Like I just on the plane back from. I had to go to Arizona this last week for my brother's graduation, and on the plane back, I literally watched a movie from 1923. But that's me. Like personally, when I'm on a plane, I prefer to watch silent films because the sound of the plane ruins the audio of any movie I watch. So I like only watch silent films on planes because it's like, oh, well, I'm not listening to anything besides like background music anyway. So
very interesting. Yeah, you have Stop That Train also coming out. I've heard of that movie because I saw it was part of like New Fest, which is kind of like an LGBTQ festival, and I saw it was part of their lineup. So I don't know much about it besides it just being a queer movie. So, but it is on my radar at least.
Oh, real quick, shout out to hello Joshua in the chat and MK Songbird in the chat. We got like a few people. How many people are here?
I have no clue. Since the number keeps
4 people.
changing.
Hello, 4 people. Thank you for
There was more earlier. People keep coming in and out, honestly.
That's how it goes. That's how streaming, like, that's how it works. Yeah, Stop That Train is, I know RuPaul is in it. It's like I think a lot of like drag, it's a drag movie, is it? Let me look at this cast. Yeah, RuPaul, Jujubee, Ginger Minj, Marsha. These are all names that I know from Drag Race. This is a RuPaul's Drag Race movie, but then also Rachel Bloom, Chris Parnell, Joel McHale, Raven Simone. Like,
oh wow, Raven.
It's mostly drag. It's mostly like it's just a drag movie, which I
was bummed since I'm like I was trying to make time for it for the festival that I mentioned, and then I saw it might be like more expensive and / short date I can't do, so I was like, okay, I'll just check it out eventually. But there's a lot of like queer movies coming out for June since it is Pride Month. I mean, if you go into like June 19th, I saw there's like 3 big queer, well, not 3 big since it's more indie movies, but like Leviticus is a horror movie with the brother from Talk to Me. It's Australian horror. That is, I think, is a queer story, I believe. And then Girls Like Girls is based on Hayley Kiyoko's music video, and she's creatively involved in this project in turning it into like a feature film. And then Maddie's Secret, I've been hearing a lot of good things about that since last year. It seems like a smaller indie film that's like really good. So you definitely have a lot of like the more queer films coming out this time of year because it is Pride Month after all, but they are ultimately not mainstream releases because studios don't want to take chances on that kind of stuff still, which is a bummer. But it's
I'm for Pride Month, I'm making a video about They/Them, the Kevin Bacon conversion camp horror movie that came out a few years ago. Terrible movie, by the way. Terrible movie.
I've never seen it, but I heard about it at the time.
I mean, it's called They/Them. Like, you know, the movie, it was Peacock's first original film. I think that says a lot. But yeah, so June 19th, I mean, the top of the list is Toy Story 5.
Yeah, That's going to be the hugest movie of the month, hands down.
If the reviews are good somehow, I'll see it. But Toy Story 4 was such a nothing movie that I'm like, I don't see how Toy Story 5 is going to be any better. Like Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 was such a perfect trilogy that it just feels like overkill. 4 felt like overkill. 5 feels like real overkill, especially when you see what they're selling. Like there's stores that are like stocking like, oh, you can buy the lily pad, like the leapfrog, whatever.
You know who voices
iPad case.
The iPad villain? Wait,
who?
Can you guess at the top of your head who voices it? It's not who you expect at all. If you don't want to guess.
I have no guesses. No.
It's Greta Lee.
That's
from Past Lives.
That's such a random choice.
I know.
Mean, for her, get your
I
bag.
was like, what? I was like,
yeah, they're literally selling like the iPad case. Like they're literally selling that in stores, and it's like, that's. Do you know? That's like when the Lorax did car commercials. It's like this is completely defeating what clearly the point of the movie, which is that kids
You're not the only person to say that, which is a great valid point. It's like, but it is ultimately gonna probably be the highest grossing movie of June. And the thing is, I think the highest grossing movie in the US last year was I think it's Zootopia 2.
Which I liked Zootopia 2, propaganda aside. I thought Zootopia 2 was a great expansion of that world. I thought it was, I thought it was just as good as the first one, which you can't always say about sequels.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as I wanted to, but like Toy Story 4, I mean not 4, Toy Story 5, I'm not as hyped as I was for Zootopia 2, but I do think there is a promising concept with like the technology stuff that they're doing. So I'm not totally against it either, but we'll see. I'm probably gonna check it out. And then there's these smaller movies that have no chance, like the queer movies we mentioned, but also this A24 Robin Hood movie with Hugh Jackman. That's the Pig director. I don't think is going to do that big. All of a sudden is, I don't know if you saw Drive My Car, the international film a few years ago.
I meant to, and then I never got around to it.
No, it's such a long movie. It's like 3 hours. And which, people are like, this is amazing. And I'm like, it's so long for no reason. And I love international movies, but that movie was too long.
I will get around to seeing it at some point because it's on the Letterboxd top 500, and I'm obsessed with filling in the circles.
Well, if you check it out, maybe check it out before All of a Sudden comes out, because it's possible that movie is going to get nominated for international feature the way Drive My Car did. So it's at Cannes right now, and it's some people are liking it more than others. Again, some people his movies are too long, but then some people I'm hearing are like, this is a masterpiece. I'm like, okay. So it's definitely one of the international contenders right now. There's too many. It's too open right now to like fully narrow down what all of the international contenders are right now, but that's definitely one of them coming out of Cannes that's happening as we speak. And then, we can skip Mare's Nest. I think that's just like another festival kind of movie. And then I think we're almost done with June. Okay. Yeah, we have to talk about Supergirl. I'm going to be honest. These trailers are not doing it for me, which is really annoying. I hate it looks too palatable. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying. Like they're trying, it sounds like Supergirl, the story they're adapting is like a dark story where she's dealing with grief and she's turning to alcohol, and there's some interesting stuff but this movie just gives off like generic Guardians of the Galaxy vibes. And I'm like, and Craig Gillespie is a great director who's done stuff like I, Tanya and like Pam and Tommy and even Corolla. I didn't hate that movie. It's one of the better live action remakes if they have to be done. Did I think it was a perfect movie? No. But like he's a good director and I'm insistent that he's one of the best male directors when it comes to when it comes to like layered, complex female characters. And I'm not getting any of that from the trailer. And it's just like frustrating me. It just seems like palatable. And I think it's going to flop. I'm nervous it's going to be like the Marvels for DC.
I think it'll do fine. It's called Supergirl. And people liked the Superman movie a lot last summer. Like I saw it. I thought it was, as far as superhero movies go, like a really good intro to a new cinematic universe. But I also just don't care about superhero movies like I did when I was younger. Like
that's a lot of people. A lot of people talk about the superhero fatigue constantly. And that's another thing impacting this movie.
I know there was a Supergirl movie in the 80s, which
Helen Slater, I think, was the actress.
Helen Slater and Faye Dunaway.
I didn't know Faye Dunaway was in it. Interesting.
Yeah, okay. And that movie's considered like really bad. Like that movie's considered like one of the worst superhero movies ever made. So
I don't think it's going to be as bad as that.
It'll be better than that, at least.
I'm just hoping they let Craig Gillespie do his thing because I love movies like that he's done, like I, Tanya. And it's like if they let him do his thing, this could be a really good movie, but just terrible marketing and terrible trailers. And they're trying to make it palatable for like a mass audience.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's the case.
Unless the reviews are really good. Like I wasn't going to see Superman last year until the reviews turned out good. So unless the reviews are good, I'm not going to see Supergirl. I am going to see Jackass 5. Because Jackass 4, like seeing that in a theater. I mean, my dad showed me the Jackass movies when I was younger. My mom did not want him to show us those movies, but we watched them anyway. And there is something just viscerally fun about watching these people hurt themselves. Like, I don't know. I thought Jackass 4 was going to be it. I mean, Jackass 3 was going to be it. And then they made Jackass 4. And I was like, oh my gosh, now Jackass 5. It's like.
But this seems to be the end to end.
But that's what he said about 3 and 4. So.
That's true. Yeah, we'll see.
I think more likely they'll make that Johnny Knoxville is just not going to do any stunts himself. He's just going to be the bad grandpa who makes all the younger people hurt themselves while he just stands to the side and laughs at them, which, hey, for as many like horrible injuries he's sustained making these films, like absolutely. Personally, I'm going to pop an edible. I'll go see it at the theater. I'll have a great time. I think a fantastic time.
I think the fandom is going to appreciate this movie and they're going to show up for sure. I feel like you and we both seem to be more excited for other releases coming out that day than Supergirl, even though Supergirl is the most high profile of the movies. The one that I'm more excited for is The Invite, which is Olivia Wilde's first movie since Don't Worry, Darling. And I'm hearing Booksmart, if you know me, is like one of my favorite movies of all time. I went to see it 3 times in theater. I adore that movie, and I can go on a rant about it but I don't want to right now. But in regards to The Invite, I'm hearing people say this is even better than Booksmart was, and it's Olivia Wilde back in her element since it did premiere at Sundance earlier this year. And it seems like a funny swingers movie. You got Ed Norton, Penelope Cruz, Seth Rogen, Olivia Wilde.
It seems like it's like a play where it's just like 4 people in a house.
But it also seems like there's more going on than the trailer lets on from what I'm hearing.
Was this based on a play? Yeah, it's based off a play.
Oh. Okay.
No, it's based off a Spanish film from 2020.
Okay.
It's an adaptation of a Spanish, so it's
I
a
did not
remake
realize
of
that.
an American remake of a Spanish film.
Okay. I might have to check out the original since I like.
The original is from 2020, and it was nominated for 5 Goya Awards, which are like the Spanish Oscars.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but I've never actually like consistently paid attention to the Goya Awards.
Yeah, well, we're not Spanish, we're dirty Americans, so we don't know anything about Spain.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to the invite. And then there's some like I think more like smaller indie international stuff like Romeria and Butra and Drunken Noodles.
Yeah, what is Drunken Noodles? I just like the name. Drunken Noodles. Oh yeah, that's an indie movie. Oh, it's Argentinian. Okay. Well, that explains it.
Yeah, I think it was at New York Film Festival last year, which is the only reason I've heard of it. But that's the end for June. Of all of these June movies, what are you most excited for? I think Jackass is probably going to be
Jackass 5, but that's just because I know what I'm getting into. Like, I also, when I saw Jackass 4 in theaters, it has a special place in my heart because I saw it like 2 weeks after I had like a major surgery. And so to have come out the other side of that surgery and then go to the movie theater and see people get hurt, it felt very good for me personally.
I'm not judging that answer. I mean, I know I'm biased with the invite since again Booksmart is one of my movies, and so that's my answer for that one. But there are some we mentioned earlier, like Disclosure Day, where there is a lot of intrigue going on around it. So there's some promising stuff in June, but yeah, we'll see. Moving on to a different form of high art, Minions and Monsters.
So the Minions prequel trilogy will be complete. We have Despicable Me. It's like Star Wars, Despicable Me, the original trilogy, and now we have the Minions prequel trilogy. I guess they made 4 Despicable Me movies, so Jesus, this will be like the 7th movie in the franchise.
And they all make close to $1 billion. It's like lately, the last few entries. It's pretty crazy.
I've been saying this since like 2000, since they made the sequel. Ever since Despicable Me 2, I've been saying this. I'm like, it must suck to be a character designer, someone who creates these intricate, detailed, artistically done characters, and knowing that you will never make a fraction of the money that the guy who drew a corn pop with eyes and put overalls on him, the guy who designed the Minions, has made more money than most other character designers will ever make in their lifetime. And it's the simplest design. So
you're not wrong. I took like a digital art. I've taken a few like digital art classes, and I remember like I took like an intro class where it was like use like Adobe Illustrator, and then I was already familiar with Adobe Illustrator, so I did more than what was necessary, but I did do a Minion.
And it's, many people have forgotten the Gentle Minions meme from 2022 of people dressing up in suits. That was so funny to me at the time. I mean, it's still funny.
Wait, that was for the Minions 2 movie?
Yeah, that was for Minions 2. People
were dressing up. Do you think it's coming back for Minions and Monsters?
If it was, we would have already. I mean, maybe it'll show up again, but I think it was that joke was very of its time because it was like
true
post quarantine. Movie theaters are back. It was 2022, so it was a little bit after, but it was still like summer blockbusters are back. Let's dress up in suits, and I think what we're gonna see is Illumination is gonna be like, hey guys, remember when we did this? Wouldn't it be so cool if you did this again? Wouldn't it be so cool if you dressed up in like they're gonna like try to artificially engineer hype that way, and it's like no. It's like when movie studios try to be like, this is the next Barbenheimer. You gotta see Paw Patrol and Saw the same day for Saw Patrol. It's like, no, guys, it has to be organic. You can't just like make this up and expect people to go along with it.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think I kind of remember vividly in 2015. I liked the first Despicable Me movie. I liked the second Despicable Me movie, and Minions coming out, and just being absolute. Wait, is there music in the background for you, or just?
Oh, there's an ice cream truck
rolling
past my. Ignore.
Okay.
Ignore.
Okay, I'll ignore. Going back. So what I was saying, I vividly remember watching Minions, the 2015 movie, in theaters and being like, this is awful, and just being so disturbed by it, and being like, I'm never gonna watch like a Minion or Despicable Me movie ever again. I remember, like, I didn't have like a developed taste back then, but I knew enough where I was like, this is a bad movie.
Yeah, the first Minions was bad. The second Minions 2, I saw it in theaters, and like honestly, it wasn't too bad, but that's because it was like we got to see Gru as like a child, which I think was fun. This third one, I mean, is Gru in this third one?
I don't know, but what I'm hearing is they're like exploring like cinema history, and there's a lot of references to like past movies. Okay. And I'm hearing people who watch the footage at CinemaCon be like, this might be an animated feature contender. And I'm like, really?
I mean, I would have liked to see, you know, teenage Gru, but yeah, because the description for this one says that it's the true story of how the Minions conquered Hollywood, became movie stars, lost everything, unleashed monsters into the world, and then saved the planet from the mayhem they created. That's just like, okay, all right, okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
I'm gonna say, watch this somehow make more money than Toy Story 5.
I mean, I think Despicable Me 4 made a little under $1 billion, if I recall correctly. I think that's the last movie in the franchise currently. And I remember people being like, that's going to make $1 billion because the previous movies have made, whether it be Despicable Me or Minions, have made $1 billion. So that, I feel like it's going to go a little under $1 billion, but I think Toy Story might be $1 billion. Yeah, let's move on from Minions. I feel like we gave it more attention than it deserved.
Yeah, Young Washington.
I think that's just George Washington being young.
What a title for a movie, Young Washington. But it's got Ben Kingsley, Andy Serkis, and Kelsey Grammer.
What? I didn't know that was the cast this whole time. I thought it was just like an Angel Studios movie about George Washington coming out like July 4th.
Huge hit in Boston, nowhere else. Oh, was it Angel Studios? Oh yeah, no, this is a Christian. This is a very Christian director. All right, okay. So it's gonna be like a patriotic like.
Yep, exactly.
I guarantee we are not going to see a single mention of George Washington owning slaves.
I agree. That's the only reason I've heard of this and knew it was Angel Studios is I think it was part of their CinemaCon presentation, and I was keeping up with the coverage, and I was like, what? I was like, okay. But yeah. Okay. So yeah, and then you got oh god, this July so far is rough. Moana live action remake.
It looks terrible. It looks so bad. I saw the trailer and I'm like, they're not even trying to hide that they're on green screens. Like you all couldn't be bothered to just, you know, go out and film outside for a little bit. Maybe you're just gonna do it all on green screens, huh? And you're just gonna. I mean, I don't know what I expect. Like, I've been saying this for years. The only live action Disney remake I want to see is Ratatouille. Give me a live action Ratatouille.
What about Atlantis?
Well, that'd be pretty good too. But the original Atlantis movie never did that well.
Yeah, I know.
It's like one of their like kind of lesser. Like people forget it exists. Like I'd love to see that live action too, but
yeah, I think Michael J. Fox did the voice.
I think Ratatouille is much more likely because that
true.
that movie has stood the test of time. Like, people still talk about it today.
Yeah, they haven't done Pixar live action remakes really yet.
I'm calling it. We're gonna see live action Ratatouille starring Timothée Chalamet as Linguini. Probably, it'll happen eventually.
Like you, young Wonka. Ew.
Yeah. Except, I mean, it's right there. They just gotta. It would be such a slam dunk for Disney. Put me in charge of Disney's coming up with movie ideas. I got Disney. Stop hiring these 65-year-old white men in Burbank to decide what movies you're going to make, and start hiring the youth of America to decide on your movies.
Don't even get me started on that rant. I can go down a whole rabbit hole with that, but yeah, my question is again, I don't want to talk about this much longer, but I will. The one question I do have is, do we think Moana 2 just came out like last year or whatever, and it made like $1 billion? Do we think
even though
this one is going to do well, this live action remake?
Every live action Disney movie, minus like Mulan because it came out during quarantine, every live action Disney movie does good because there are parents who are nostalgic for the original film. And the first Moana is like 10 years old almost. So there's people who saw that movie 10 years ago that now have, 5 or 6-year-old children themselves. And they go take their kid to the theater to try and recreate some of the magic of seeing that movie in theaters when it came out, not even considering the fact that it's live action and it looks like crap.
There is some smaller releases, but Moana is going to dominate. Gil Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. I think that's just Zoe Deutsch trying to get with John Hamm. I think that's what the premise of the movie is, from what I've heard, which sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, Evil Dead, a new Evil Dead movie.
I haven't seen any of them, but that's going to probably do well at the box office, honestly.
I've only seen
people are hyped for it.
I've only seen the original Evil Dead trilogy, which it's not even really a trilogy. It's more like, because there's Evil Dead 1, and then Evil Dead 2 is basically a remake of Evil Dead 1, to the point where it kind of ignores the events of the first movie, and it's almost the same thing, but better. And then the third one is Army of Darkness, where he travels back in time to the Middle Ages.
See, you got people in the chat saying they're hyped, proving my point. I'm like, I'm not part of the fandom, but I'm aware that there is people hyped for this, and it's probably going to do well, honestly.
Is it related to the one that came out a few years ago, Evil Dead Rise? Or it's just like another movie in the same universe, I guess?
I feel like you're not the first person to ask that question, and I should know the answer based on what I've heard other people say about it. But again, that's not my fandom, so I forgot what the answer was.
Yeah. If you're going to see this, I recommend watching. You don't have to watch the first Evil Dead movie. It was super low budget, and the events of it are entirely like overwritten by Evil Dead 2.
I didn't realize Sam Raimi is back. So he has 2 movies between Send Help and that.
Oh, he did this new one, really? No. Evil Dead Burn was directed by a guy named Sebastian Vanet.
Okay. That's what I thought. I was like, I saw the chat mentioning Sam Raimi, and I'm like, is that true? I had no clue, but
no, he didn't direct it. No, he's a producer, I guess. But
okay. So yeah, and then Bardo Triste, I think, is just like, again, like another like small thing, and then De Gaulle, like international, and then De Gaulle again. We got part 2 of the Charles de Gaulle biopic. That's another that's the French movie we talked about earlier. We can move on to other July releases. Hopefully there's something that we're both more excited about.
I'm looking at the list of movies coming out. I mean, some of these are not, like Enola Holmes 3, which I don't know anybody who liked the first one or the second one, so I don't know. I guess they did well enough they got to make a third one.
Well, July 17th, we got a big one.
Oh yeah, the Odyssey.
Where do you land on the Odyssey?
Duh, I'm gonna see that. I mean, it's the Odyssey by Christopher Nolan. Like, that sounds awesome. Not to mention the fact that like the Odyssey, like the original story, really hasn't been adapted into film that many times. The last time a film of the Odyssey was made was in 1997.
Okay.
And it was...
I mean, it's arguably one of the most, if not the most epic story of all time. And the term epic is popularized because of Homer, who wrote epics like the Odyssey and the Iliad. My thing is,
the original, like the 1997 adaptation of the Odyssey was executive produced by Fred Fox. Real
that's
name.
funny.
It was an Italian movie.
I was about to say, someone in the chat just said technically there was one more recent, and I was about to bring it up myself. Last year, I think, or the year before, there was a Ralph Fiennes adaptation with Juliette Binoche called The Return. And that at first threw me off when I saw Matt Damon and Hathaway cast. Since I was like, I don't know if I'm like, I don't know.
Why didn't they call that one? I guess they couldn't call it the Odyssey because they knew that Christopher Nolan was making an Odyssey movie. That sucks.
One focuses specifically on the return. Like after the journey is already done, they don't really focus on any of the.
Okay. So it's not. Okay, so it's not all right.
It's not the full story. Yeah. I think I love Greek mythology. The cast is stacked. It's insanely stacked. And I thought Oppenheimer had an insane cast. And somehow this has even more people than Oppenheimer did, which is crazy. And
yeah, no, it's a shoo-in for a nomination for Best Picture. It's Christopher Nolan directing the Odyssey. Like, it's kind of...
This was like my most hyped movie of the year, but then I saw the last trailer and my excitement went down a lot, unfortunately, and I really wish I didn't watch that last trailer, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really watch trailers except for what's shown to me in theaters.
Exactly. If I did what you did, I probably would still be like super hyped for this movie, but I'm not as excited as I once was because I saw the last trailer, and now I'm like, ooh, like I don't know about this thing or that thing, and I'm like, again, he can still win me over and win me back once I see the movie, and I can maybe completely change my opinion, and maybe it is an amazing movie, and I totally like, since there's a lot of times where there's trailers that I'm like, these trailers aren't really selling me. And then I watch the final product and I'm like, okay, this is a great movie. So I'm hoping that's the case with this, because that last trailer, I was like, oof. And I started to see other people on the internet turn on the movie with that as well. So we'll see how it ultimately turns out. Yeah, I mean.
What's the other one you wrote there? Cut Off?
I have no clue what that one is.
Who's putting out a movie the same day as Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey? It just seems like a bad idea. Yeah, Wikipedia doesn't even list that in the list of movies coming out. So I'm also looking at the Wikipedia list of like movies being released.
Yeah, that one, I've never heard of it at all. Rosebush Pruning, I think, is a small like festival movie, if I recall correctly. I think it might be at Cannes right now.
Well, you notice like The Odyssey will be such a big movie that they're not even trying to put like any major movies the weekend after that too. Like it's 2 weekends later before Spider-Man comes out. So
yeah, Her Private Hell is a Cannes movie that has Charles Melton, Sophie Thatcher from Yellow Jackets, and I think Havana Rose Liu, I believe, from Bottoms and other stuff.
Oh, hi, Mr. Duck Sauce is in the chat. That's someone I know from my own live streams. Okay, hi, cool. We're talking about movies. We're talking about movies. What is The Dink? That's a great title for a movie.
What that movie is. Motor City I've heard of. I think it's the Alan Richardson movie.
The Dink is made by the guy who made Barb and Star.
Oh.
He directed Will and Harper, the documentary about Will Ferrell and his transgender friend.
I remember that.
But he also made Strays. But he's also directing
dog movie.
Yeah, he's also directing Spaceballs too.
Yes, answering Mr. Duck Sauce in the chat. We're covering upcoming movies from May to August. We're currently at the end of July. We're almost done with July.
Yeah.
So far for May, we said I think you and I both said I Love Boosters is the movie to watch out for the most. I saw I Love Boosters already, whereas the Evasive hasn't yet. And then June, I think you said Jackass was your most anticipated. Mine most anticipated was The Invite. And we're going to give our most anticipated for July soon. But you're right. There's nothing coming out that weekend, the 24th, because people are scared of the Odyssey. And then you have Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out the 31st. Where are you? I know you got superhero fatigue, but Spider-Man is one of the ones people kind of like jump back in for every so often, even though they have superhero fatigue.
Spider-Man is an exception because they've never really made a bad Spider-Man movie. Like, even the ones that people consider bad, like Spider-Man, like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 or The Amazing Spider-Man 2, like people still, they have their fans. They have their, they've just never really made a bad Spider-Man movie. Like, they've made ones that are, but like Spider-Man 3, for example, people hated it when it came out, but now it's looked upon highly as such a fun 2007, like hokey, dumb movie. So, and like the MCU, before Avengers Infinity War back in 2018, I binge watched all of the Marvel movies, and then I went and watched everyone as they came out up until the Eternals. After the Eternals, I was like, all right, I don't care anymore. Like, the Eternals was like the last straw for me. I talked about that in a video recently. I'm like, the Eternals, what are we doing? We're done here. But I'll still go out and see the ones I'm interested in. So like, I saw Guardians. I saw the last Spider-Man movie.
Did you think it was good, that last one?
I had a great time.
Do you like Spider-Verse at all? Like the animated?
Oh yeah, no? Spider-Verse. Love Spider-Verse. I haven't rewatched Spider-Man No Way Home since it came out, but
I love No Way Home. So, and they're kind of, I mean,
this one feels much smaller scale, obviously, because they're not going to have 3 Spider-Men in one movie. It's a smaller, more pared down movie.
In some ways, but then they also have the Hulk and Punisher in it, and most likely Florence Pugh is in it. And then they're teasing whatever is going on with Sadie Sink's character. So
yeah,
and people are speculating Daredevil is going to show up. I'm like,
I mean, hey, whatever. Do whatever. Like, I don't.
That's a trailer that's working for me, though. I talked earlier about Supergirl. That trailer didn't work for me at all. I feel like there's 2 blockbuster movies of recent times.
Weirdly, what I'm most interested in with this new Spider-Man movie is Michael Mando as Scorpion, because he showed up in Spider-Man Homecoming, the first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. He showed up in the first one, and then he was MIA and everything else until suddenly he's back in this one. And it's like,
okay,
all right, so it took you like 10 years for a payoff to this, to show.
I mean, that's not the first time they've done something like that. With the MCU before. But that's very interesting.
I'm going to call this now. Post-credits scene for this Spider-Man movie will introduce a live-action Miles Morales. I think that that's the logical next step to take with the MCU Spider-Man, is to introduce Miles Morales into it.
They need to cast it properly. I keep hearing dumb fan casting saying they want the kid from Stranger Things. I'm like, no, they should cast someone who's Afro-Latino.
10 years, I mean, remember originally Miles Morales, the creator, the character was partially created because of Donald Glover in Community.
Which is why he showed up.
And that never had a payoff. He played in the first
Aaron
Homecoming. He played Aaron, Miles's uncle, who becomes a certain villain later.
Prowler.
Yeah, he becomes a Prowler. They didn't pay off. There was no payoff for that. So,
but also Donald Glover is super busy to be.
Yeah,
fair.
If they're finally bringing back Michael Mando as Scorpion, then I think maybe we'll finally get a payoff and see.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Spider-Man, the 5th Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, will be him training Miles Morales. That seems like the logical.
I hope we get live action Miles. That would be cool.
That would do Black Panther numbers.
Can we talk about the other movie that is up against it that I'm actually looking forward to? Have you seen a lot of Greg Araki movies or no?
Yes, not a lot, but I've seen.
Well, not a lot, but just any. Yeah. That's more my question. Have you seen?
Yeah, I've seen Mysterious Skin, Doom Generation, and Smiley Face. Love Smiley. Smiley Face is like one of my favorite stoner movies.
Yeah, I hear it's a good stoner movie from the people that I know that have seen it. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Doom Generation. That's on my list.
Have you seen Mysterious Skin?
Yes, that one is a very messed up movie, but it's so brilliant. And when Michelle Trachtenberg died, I posted a quote from that movie.
It's so funny to me that he made Smiley Face right after as like a chaser.
I know, so crazy.
As like a it took him, as like a career, like basically a chaser after the hardest hit of vodka you could possibly swallow with Mysterious Skin. And he was like, I'm just going to make a stoner comedy next and just to like relax. So
this new movie, I Want Your Sex, from my understanding, I don't know anything about it besides Olivia Wilde is a dom, Cooper Hoffman, Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, who is in the Licorice Pizza, is her sub, and Charlie XCX is his girlfriend. That's all I know. And I'm like, I'm sold.
Yeah, the title alone, I know Johnny Knoxville is also in it. And Daveed Diggs, I think, is in it too.
Oh yeah, Daveed. I literally have a selfie with Daveed Diggs the other day. Yesterday.
That's so cool. Yeah, that movie. I mean, the title alone, I'm surprised that. I'm surprised they got. It's coming to theaters, right?
Yeah, Olivia Wilde has that in the invite, so I'm like, I feel like people are finally like, you know what? Maybe we should like. Maybe she can get a bit of a comeback after Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. Even though Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be the bigger, more high-profile movie, I'm looking forward to both of those. What is your most anticipated of these July movies? We talked about some stinkers in the beginning.
Yeah,
but
I mean, The Odyssey. That's the one I really am interested in. That's going to be...
That would be my number one if it wasn't for the last trailer. So I'm going to go with Spider-Man Brand New Day, since I feel like the trailers only increase my hype, since I really it was a good balance of like continuing storylines from No Way Home with him for like his memory being gone. And then there's similar to like Disclosure, there's questions of like everyone keeps asking what's going on with Sadie Sink's character. Sadie Sink from The Whale and Stranger Things. And is she Jean Grey? Is she another character? So I want to see what's the deal with that. I love John Barenthal, period. So I'm just excited to see him in this at all. So I don't even care if it connects to Doomsday or not. I'm very hyped for this movie. But The Odyssey is also, like, I'm going to check it out. And, like, I totally get why that's your pick. That was my, going into this year, if you saw my most anticipated movies of 2026 list, The Odyssey was at the top of it initially. So, like, I totally get that being your choice. But unless you have anything else to say, we can get into August real quick.
Yeah, let's do August.
August is kind of a lackluster month, in my opinion. It's interesting because I feel like it used to be kind of like June to August, and I feel like May has become part of the summer blockbuster now. In August, for this year at least, I don't know if it's the case for past August um, movie months, but this one's kind of just lackluster for me. You got One Night Only, which is um, which is a rom com with Monica Barbaro from Complete Unknown, among other things, and then Callum Turner, aka Mr. Dua Lipa. I don't think anyone else knows him for like really any of his projects, but just calls him Mr. Dua Lipa since he's with Dua Lipa. Um, People were confused by the trailer for that one because it's basically The Purge, but you're not allowed to have sex except like one night a year, pre-marriage.
Which like, okay, it's a weird idea for a movie, but it's directed by the guy who made the Peter Rabbit movies.
I did not know that, but I was looking forward to it regardless. I know people are confused. I'm like, I like a rom com. I'll check it out. Someone mentioned Super Troopers 3 in the chat. That's also coming out. Do you have anything to say about Super Troopers 3?
I've never seen Super Troopers, so
Neither have I. I can't comment on it, but someone in the chat seemed to be really excited for it earlier, which is the reason I bring it up. Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Masama. I feel like this is either one of those movies you know or you don't, and if you know it, you're most likely hyped for it. I'm not in the hyped for it camp quite yet, but it's the same director as I saw the TV Glow.
Yeah, which absolutely. I just don't know anything about it, but I think it's one of those movies where it's like I'll just wait till it comes out and see what people say because
I just know Hannah Einbinder's in it and Gillian Anderson, and it's I think kind of like set at like a summer camp, kind of like Friday the 13th. And I think people are simply hyped because of I Saw the TV Glow. I think that's honestly where the hype is coming from. So you got that. Ice Cream Man, boo Eli Roth. I think you'll probably be in agreement on that. No more time needs to be spent on that.
Oh, yeah.
And then Late Fame, I saw last year. It's with Greta Lee and Willem Dafoe. And Willem Dafoe.
You already saw it? Oh, it came out.
I saw it at New York Film Festival last year.
Okay.
And I was waiting for a distributor, and it finally got a distributor. So it's coming out this August. I think Magnolia Pictures is the distributor, if I recall correctly. I really like this film. I think Greta Lee and Willem Dafoe are both great in it. I'm excited for people to finally check it out when they do get the chance. It was interesting because Greta Lee in October, she was in this movie that I saw. She was also in House of Dynamite, which came out in November on Netflix. And then she was in Tron Ares. And I watched those 3 movies in the span of like a week, like all back to back. And I was like, wow. I was like, Greta Lee really has range. I was like, between Tron Ares, House of Dynamite, and this movie. And I think this movie, was probably the best performance of the 3. It was originally supposed to be Sandra Holler cast in the role, but then she dropped out. I don't know which project she dropped out for. Maybe Project Hail Mary, maybe something else. But yeah, that's a smaller movie set in New York. It kind of makes fun of New York, not New York, NYU culture specifically.
Which I'm all about.
And I figured you would be.
I went there, so.
We both went there, so. But we didn't know each other there, weirdly enough. But yeah, so it was a really funny movie, making fun of NYU and how stupid it is. And then Noah Kahan, I don't listen to his music, but he's fairly popular. Do you like his music at all or no?
I don't know anything about Noah Kahan except that Noah Kahan exists.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll move on to the final page of August, of summer releases, and you mentioned Paw Patrol earlier. We got
Paw
that.
Patrol. They're calling it just Paw Patrol, the Dino movie.
I knew we were gonna get a kick out of that, and
You
I was
couldn't
like
even come up
waiting
with
to
a
hear
better
your
title.
thoughts.
You couldn't. That was the best they got. Because there was Paw Patrol, the movie, Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie, Paw Patrol, Christmas.
Oh, I
And
didn't know there
now
was a Christmas movie.
there was a Paw Patrol, the Dino movie. You know, they could, okay, so Paw Patrol, the movie, Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie. They could have called this one Paw Patrol, the Mightiest movie. But I
Yeah,
guess
but I
it's
think
got
they want to
dinos in
get
it.
people with the dinos.
Like they want to get people. They want to get 5-year-olds. Dude,
Yeah, so
there's
that
kids.
movie is probably going to do well, even though I've never seen Paw Patrol in my life.
There's, I mean, we don't have children under the age of 6, so of course we haven't seen Paw Patrol.
I mean, some people watch Bluey that are adults. I don't.
But people,
but, like,
Bluey is like, I've heard Bluey has like a lot of aspects to it that are, it's like Arthur kind of, where it's like,
okay, I like Arthur. Okay,
yeah,
now I get why
like,
people like Bluey based on
people
that.
like Bluey for the same reasons they like Arthur, where it's like, yeah, it's for kids, but it's also like got a lot of elements to it that adults like too.
I know it's so big that Natalie Portman watches Bluey and showed up in an episode, which is crazy to me. But yeah, I don't think it's
Bluey
like
is the
Paw
new
Patrol
Arthur.
at all.
Bluey is the new Arthur.
Okay. When you put it that way, okay, I get it more. I'm like, I need to check it out at some point, like one episode. I think it's on Disney Plus, just to see what the deal with that
absolutely.
is.
I'm not gonna binge watch it, but I'll watch a little bit.
So that movie's probably gonna be the biggest movie of that weekend. I don't care about the McConaughey Rivals of a Messiah King movie. I heard the trailer came out. I didn't check out the trailer. Maybe it's a good trailer. I just know McConaughey's in it. I don't know much else. End of Oak Street. Oh, this is the weekend of Dino movies because End of Oak Street is a movie with Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor, aka Obi-Wan Kenobi, who you mentioned earlier, and then Maisie Stella from My Old Ass. And I think for some reason their house gets transported back in time of dinos. So this is like the Dino weekend. Between this and Paw Patrol. Very interesting. But yeah, End of Oak Street sounds like an interesting concept to me, at least. Anne Hathaway has like 5 movies this year. And then we got a couple more weekends left, unless you have anything to say about that movie and the fact that there's 2 Dino movies coming out.
No, I got nothing.
Insidious. There's another Insidious movie. I haven't seen any of them.
There is.
But there's another one indeed. Yeah. And then August 28th, we got the Cliffhanger remake. We got Coyote versus Acme, which was in
which I am going to go see that.
Okay.
Purely, I mean, because it looks fun, but also because of how difficult it was for them to get it released, period. Like, that movie was almost deleted. The movie was almost straight up, like, deleted.
Like, Batgirl, you can't watch at all. Whereas somehow this movie is coming out and we are going to be able to watch it.
Yeah. Now, apparently Batgirl was bad.
Apparently Batgirl was...
Supergirl, we'll see Supergirl, no Batgirl, and no Supergirl versus Batgirl. Wasted potential. But yeah, Coyote versus Acme I will see because
Looney Tunes, man.
Also, 2D animation in general, like...
True. I'm with you on the 2D animation for sure.
It's such a treat to see it now, especially in theaters, to see a 2D animated... I mean, it's not... It's a hybrid 2D animation, like... But... I mean, just to, like, say, hey, this is a type of movie I'm interested in seeing, I will go support it. Because it's still just so ridiculous to me that they were this close to just completely deleting that movie from existence.
Yeah, I get it. We'll see how it does box office wise or not. You
Like, there
also
was a Looney
got
Tunes movie that came out last year, right? There was a Looney Tunes movie that came out last year, and I didn't see it, but I heard it's good. You know, support 2D animation in theaters. It doesn't happen often enough.
um also this isn't this month, but later this year you have I mean it's not 2D animation, it's stop motion instead, but Leica is coming out with a new movie. Oh my god, why am I blanking on the name of it now? Oh my god. And I'm so hyped for it. It was literally in my most anticipated of the year. Oh, Wildwood.
Yeah,
Wildwood.
Wildwood.
That movie is coming out, but it's not in the summer.
No,
But
that's in the fall.
that is an animated release that I heard is worth keeping an eye on if you want to support stuff outside of Disney. And then DreamWorks is coming out with a movie called Forbidden Island that I heard is really good based on the CinemaCon screenings that they did. The film wasn't complete yet, but I hear it's really promising and it might be an best animated feature contender. So, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say Leica hasn't made a movie since before the pandemic, so.
What was the name of that Yeti movie?
The Missing Link.
Thank you.
I didn't see that either, but
was that the last one they did?
Yeah.
I watched that. So it was nominated for animated feature, but like, yeah.
I mean, I love Coraline, love Paranorman.
Kubo, man.
Kubo. I never saw Box Trolls.
I think Kubo is Travis Knight who directed it, and I believe he's the Wildwood director.
Yeah, he is.
If you want to support like animation outside of Disney, those are like the projects to watch out for. Forbidden Island, which is DreamWorks, and then Wildwood, which is Leica for sure. Keep an eye out for those.
Travis Knight also directed Masters of the Universe.
Yep, so he did.
Two movies very much this year.
And I'm more excited for Wildwood. I feel like that's going to be the better of the two movies.
Of course.
What else is coming out? I could care less about this. I hate that I'm saying this about a Ridley Scott movie, but I could care less about this Dog Stars Ridley Scott movie with Jacob Elordi and Margaret Qualley. I hate that I'm saying that about that group of people, but I don't care. And then Idiots, the original title was Shitheads. Yeah. I think they changed it to Idiot so it could be more marketable. But yeah, that movie I heard wasn't bad. And then these other movies I'm less familiar with. I think they're festival movies. I actually, Filipinana and Colony, I'm pretty sure are both festival movies. Yeah, August is kind of lackluster. I'm going to be honest. I'm trying to look back. One Night Only, I don't hate. And then maybe your movie might be Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, which was
just because of the director.
I figured, yeah. Mine, there's not much here. I think I'm going to go with End of Oak Street, the Dino movie.
Yeah. Well, what? Oh my gosh, what's coming out in
Oh no, One Night Only. I'll go with that. I like a fun rom-com. You know what, Monica Barbaro, I like her. She's very charming. She did Crime 101 earlier this year, and I liked her in Complete Unknown and Top Gun. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. No, that's my answer. One Night Only.
Yeah.
But I saw Late Fame already, and that's technically that's a really good movie. But I can't choose that since I've already seen it. But yeah, that's it for summer 2026 as a whole. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that, there were some movies I think that were going to come out in August, and they pushed them to September. I don't know which ones in particular, but I know in September is when the next Resident Evil movie comes out. And I know in September there's a movie about Rolling Loud,
there's a lot of promising fall releases, and I'm definitely going to do a video, like a fall winter preview. on the fall movies, not just the blockbusters, but also like potential award season contenders. But I'll probably do that video at the end of August, leading into September. In regard to the comments, there's a comment saying rom-coms are the best genre with the worst track record. There's a lot of chick flicks coming out this year. My previous live stream covered a lot of the chick flicks that are coming out this year. So far, my favorite that I've seen is People We Meet on Vacation. I don't know if whoever left this comment has seen that yet, but if you haven't, maybe check that one out. In regards to rom-coms,
I've just seen
that
ads
weren't
for
terrible. What did you say?
I just saw ads for it. That did really well, actually. A lot of people watched People We Meet on Vacation.
Yeah, because it's based on a popular book, and Tom Blythe is a very underrated actor who did this movie called Plainclothes that I loved, and I know most people probably know him from the Hunger Games prequel that he did, since he played Young Snow, I believe. I'm not a Hunger Games fan, but I'm pretty sure he was opposite Rachel Zegler in that. He's such a good actor. He's so captivating as a screen presence. So I loved him in this movie personally. And then I wasn't familiar with Emily Bader at all. And she just stole my heart with this movie. And I was like, and she's kind of becoming Netflix's it girl. And she's in a couple upcoming Netflix projects. Including the 13 going on 30 reboot, which shouldn't be done, but like if they have to choose someone, I get why they chose her based on People We Meet on Vacation.
Absolutely.
But yeah, fall, I will definitely do a video for sure. There's two things I want to ask you about this summer though, movie season as a whole. One, is there something that you weren't familiar with that was on your radar that you became familiar with that you're like, I might check that one out now?
Oh yeah, I mean, the biggest one honestly is the RuPaul drag queen.
Oh, Stop That Train.
Yeah, I have a friend who's really into Drag Race who I know is like, even if it's bad, is still gonna think it's funny. So
yeah,
I feel like a lot of other stuff I kind of, to some degree, knew about. I mean, I didn't know about the movie making fun of NYU. I didn't know about that one. But most of the other big ones, like, I'm definitely gonna see Disclosure Day. Definitely gonna see The Odyssey, Jackass 5, Spider-Man, and then whatever else will just be if someone invites me to go see it, which has happened a lot. I wasn't planning to see Exit 8, but someone was like, let's go see Exit 8, and I went along because I
unfortunately saw that in an early screening with NYU students, and they were awful. And they were literally like recording the screen during the movie. I'm like, y'all are the worst. Like, seriously. Like,
when I was at NYU, because we were talking about Devil Wears Prada earlier. When I was at NYU, I remember my freshman year, there was a screening of Collateral Beauty, which is the same director as
Is that Will Smith?
Yeah, and that movie, I remember, that was like an early moment at my time at NYU where I was like, oh, people are not genuine at these early screenings, because like the movie was so obviously like so cheesy, so ham-fisted, such a like poorly done like movie. But then everyone in the room was like, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. It made me cry. You're the best director ever. And it's like, okay, so no,
I will never.
We don't do these screenings for legitimate feedback. They do these screenings to make themselves feel good.
I totally get what you're saying. I go to early screenings and I try to give my honest opinion on movies. But even then, I have people who are who criticize or nitpick my opinions when I go to early screenings. But I'm not going to pretend I like a movie if I don't, just because it's an early screening. Like I'm going to get bad comments for this. Like, I saw Zendaya and Mike Price show up for Challengers in IMAX when I saw it in IMAX, and she was wearing the T-shirt that is seen in the movie. And yes, like Zendaya is cool, but like that's not my favorite Luca movie, and I'm not gonna pretend I liked it as much as his other movies, like Call Me by Your Name or Suspiria or Bones and All. I'm gonna be honest. So
yeah,
it's
there's
not
a
a
lot
bad
of,
movie though, but I'm not gonna pretend.
this is something that I've seen a lot with, just from my own doing videos. Like this month, I'm working on a video about They Slash Them, the Kevin Bacon gay conversion camp horror movie. And part of my research was I went back and looked at like the press cycle for it. And that movie, I mean, they were so desperate to get any eyes on it at all that they let pretty much anyone who asked for an interview to get an interview. Like there were like YouTube channels that had like, you know, a couple hundred subscribers, like very small YouTube channels interviewing like Kevin Bacon. Like they were letting anybody who asked do an interview, and every interview was the same. It was all these people being like, oh my gosh, I love your movie, it's so inspirational to gay people everywhere. It's such a it's an LGBTQ masterpiece. It's like y'all are just lying through your teeth. Like anybody who watched that movie was not gonna like of course you're gonna lie and pretend it's like amazing if because you're doing a press interview, but it's like it's just so disingenuous. I'm like, guys, this is not, what are we doing here? Like I get that's how it works. I get that's how Hollywood works, but it's like, what's even the point of this? Like, I don't know. It's like that for every major release. Like just all these interviews that are like, doesn't matter how terrible the movie is, there's going to be someone interviewing. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the best movie of the year. It's the best movie of the decade. It changed my life.
The interviewers have become so terrible because they just let random influencers who obviously know nothing about movies like do these press junkets style, and they ask the dumbest questions like, "Oh, is acting hard?" And it's like,
yeah, it's like, it's like, my question is, who's watching these interviews? Like I see these interviews and they have like 10 views, and I'm like, why are we even making these? Like, why even putting in effort to make
I seek out like the legitimately good interviewers out there, and they're harder to find now, but I try to find those people and support those people because those people are actually legitimately trying to do good interviews, and they're not just influencers that are just going to kiss ass. So, yeah. Yeah, I can go on to a full rant, but I won't.
Yeah.
I thank you for joining today. I know like you are very smart and you know a lot about movies and you watch a lot of older movies and you do these deep dives with the videos that you do. And I know new releases are not as much your wheelhouse, but I appreciate your input and your opinion regardless, because I didn't want just someone else who like I wanted someone who likes movies and who knows a lot about movies, but isn't just like basically just saying the same stuff that I'm saying and gives like a different perspective.
No, and I'm always happy to talk about movies because I could just talk endlessly about them. I went to school for them. They're such a big part of my life. I'm just also a little bit of a hater, and like I'm not gonna.
And you're more picky, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's just like movies as an art form. We have over 100 years worth of films.
Yep.
And to me, it just kind of seems like a lot of movies obviously are made for people who haven't seen movies from the fact that I've seen so many movies from for like 50, 60, 70 years ago.
Yeah, same.
I feel like I'm less impressed by movies in general because I'm like, oh, well, I've seen that before in this 70s movie that most people my age have never seen.
Is that what you consider the best decade for movies, or do you consider something else the best decade?
I don't really have an opinion on the best decade. I'm not talking about genres. Like, oh, the best genre for sci-fi was the 80s, you know.
Interesting.
Best decade for westerns was the to me, the 60s, because that's when Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid came out, and that's my favorite Western. But I see the trends of like, you know, the oversaturation of superhero movies is being replaced by the oversaturation of video game movies.
Yep, I agree.
In the 50s and 60s, it was Westerns. In the 70s, it was horror, and 70s and 80s, it was horror movies.
And even before that, in the 30s, with like the Great Depression, you have like musicals popping off, and that faded eventually in the 60s.
A lot of screwball comedies, because people were looking for an escape from the Great Depression. But yeah, I have this kind of varied. I've just seen so many, and I've seen a lot of international films too. Like I've seen a lot of foreign films.
That's why I wanted to highlight stuff like, again, like the Drive My Car director's new movie and stuff like that a little bit. Again, a lot of the more like interesting international stuff comes out more in the, not interesting, the more international stuff comes out in the fall season, because they're trying to be considered for award season rather than the summer, which is why I didn't cover a ton of international during this. But I do think that's important to cover as well, as much as the blockbuster stuff. And I do watch a lot of, like, I watch all of the best international nominees before the nominations for the Oscars even came out last year. Like, and I was lucky enough that I got to see a lot of those movies in theaters, which is not the case for a lot of people. So,
yeah, if I lived near a movie theater, like if I lived near an AMC and I had an unlimited pass, I would see a lot more. But it's just a matter of like, I don't live near a theater right now. So it takes effort for me to go out to the theater. So that affects what I end up choosing to watch.
Very fair. Maybe in the future we'll cover like a topic that isn't new releases and something like more like I don't want to say old releases, but I don't know what other term to use right now at the top of my head. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, Joshua in the chat said you live across the street from Alamo Drafthouse. Yeah, I used to live near Alamo Drafthouse. I was seeing movies at Alamo a lot more often when I lived near Alamo Drafthouse, but I just don't live near a theater right now.
I get it. I hope everyone here who is listening to this live or on the replay, there was actually a lot of people who surprisingly listened to my last live stream on the replay, and I appreciated it. So I want you to feel like your voice matters as much as the live chat people who are here right now. Feel free to leave comments. But yeah, I hope all of you listening had fun listening to Evasive and I discuss the 2026 summer movie season. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and leave comments sharing your thoughts below, especially like what movies you're most excited to see of the ones we mentioned. If you discovered something new listening to this convo, if you'd like to see more content from me, I post short reviews on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram as well. Usually I do out of theater reactions around a minute. And my next live stream will probably be May 30th. I'm planning on doing a Cannes recap probably. And so if international films interests you and you're wondering what could possibly be a Best Picture contender for the Oscars or Best International contender, check that out in the future. If that doesn't interest you, there's going to be other topics as well that aren't international films. I go all over the place since I watch everything. Blockbusters, indie, international, classic films, whatever. I watch it all, any genre. So there'll be probably something else that interests you inevitably. And please let me know what other topics you want to see me cover next in the comments below. Evasive, is there anything you'd like to plug?
No, but feel free to have me on again sometime soon to talk about movies, because that's something that I I can talk about. I can also talk about TV shows too, if that's ever a thing. I know it's the movie channel, but I also watch TV shows.
I watch TV shows too. I'm more caught up on movies at the moment.
Yeah,
but I do watch TV shows. But I was gonna say, I know you want to be humble and you're not plugging anything, but check out Evasive's YouTube channel. Very huge, successful channel.
I'm working on a video about they/them for Pride Month. And Sam, I'll follow up with you later, but I'd love to get you in a video sometime too.
For sure. Evasive does a lot of cool videos, and I'm not just saying that because we're friends. I actually would be subscribed regardless. So if you're not familiar with Evasive, definitely check that channel out. And thank you for everyone in the comments right now, leaving nice, thankful.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. I know it was we talked for a while. We talked for 2 hours straight, which is
impressive. I figured that would happen since there's so many movies to cover.
I do want to get going though. I'm supposed to go to
a for sure. I also need to go. I was about to wrap up. Bye, everyone.
Cool. All right. Bye.